Let's talk about the buffoonery of the MonsterVerse, now further extended by the arrival of Godzilla X Kong, the new empire. No, the title doesn't really make any sense, just like the entire film. The film is nonsensical, inconsistent, even if you consider its own made up half magic, half science bullshit this world is built upon. The laws and rules of this universe established in its own previous films don't really matter, to the point that now they are not even trying to explain its magic signs. It's as if they took the piece of paper with the rules of the MonsterVerse, wiped their asses off it, and threw it in our faces. And we'll get to these audacities later, of course we will. But before that, let's get this out of the way. I enjoyed the film.
You what?
Yeah, it is very much self-aware of its dumbfuckery and it doesn't give a shit about it. And this unapologetic stupidity, this unpretentious approach, somehow makes Godzilla X Kong a fun film, close to the so bad that it's good category. So yeah, it's super dumb, but also it's fun. It's a dumb fun film. Now, let's talk about it in detail. In case you are wondering, as the sunlight definitely cannot reach hollow earth, then where is its source of light? Stop wondering. In case you are thinking that quite clearly in Godzilla King of Monsters it was established that all the titans have accepted Godzilla as their king, then why these random weak-ass titans still keep challenging him? Don't think. If you remember that most of the titans had bowed to Godzilla, then why are they not taking care of these minion monsters, as it was clearly established that Alpha Titan, Godzilla in this case, can make Beta Titans do his dirty business? Well, forget it. If you have a question that what the fuck in the world is even giving birth to these new minion titans, as very specifically it is established that nuclear radiation is monster food, don't raise that question. Why are humans still careless with their nuclear projects, giving rise to the new monsters every now and then who are destroying the biggest, iconic cities of the world? Please don't ask. Why, after directly killing millions and millions of people around the world through the course of 4 films, Godzilla is still considered by humans as their savior? Just shut that brain off, rip it out of your head and throw it as far as you can before watching Godzilla X Kong. Because this is just the tip of the iceberg. And despite all the bullshit that goes around in this film unexplained, the film somehow works. Just don't think about it. The moment anything starts to hurt your brain, shift your focus to the circus of buffoonery performed by the giant monkey or the radioactive lizard, depending on your fetish. Now let's talk about the characters of this film. No, not the human characters. Are you kidding me? Let's talk about Kong first. The only living being in this film who you may possibly relate to. Yes, there's infinitely more possibility of the audience relating to a giant ape than the humans of the MonsterVerse. In this film, Kong is the one who has a need, who's seeking something humane and basic, a family, companionship, which makes him relatable. He's apparently the last of his kind and he's hoping to find a family down in the hollow earth. Unlike Godzilla, who is doing his usual shit, that is throwing up in other kaiju's scream holes, because that's what he does, and powering up to Pink Mohawk Kaiju Super Saiyan because, well, fans go ape shit when he does that. He has zero character, zero need, zero want. He's just there to be Kong's sidekick if and when needed. He's just there to get bombed by humans for no reason at all. Why the fuck would you even try to bomb Godzilla? Why would you want to piss him off? Isn't he your savior? 5 films into the franchise, haven't you learned your lessons? Don't you already know he's indestructible? Actually, he's not indestructible. Oh man, here it comes. He can be severely damaged and forced into hibernation for centuries with the help of an oxygen destroyer. This oxygen destroyer can be used to damage any and every titan that strives on nuclear energy, except Ghidorah, who was an alien monster. Okay, so you mean that either the world has forgotten about the oxygen destroyer, or humans are dumb enough to believe that
we must keep our faith in Godzilla.
Yeah, right. We must keep our faith in a radioactive giant lizard, which is an extinction level threat to humanity. And for the sake of humanity in this universe, I am glad that this character is dead. And you know what's more baffling? Despite already having an easy to use bomb that can and will damage Godzilla, which is established by the way, the antagonist of Godzilla vs. Kong, this dumb fuck, goes on to build a Mecha Godzilla in hopes to knock out the Godzilla in a fist fight. You are being harsh, probably he doesn't even know about the oxygen destroyer. And I hope he doesn't, otherwise it will make the entire film GVK pointless. Yes, because it is pointless. Don't tell me this highly influential business tycoon prick who has access to all the classified information about Titans, who also knows about the Hollow Earth, had no idea about the oxygen destroyer. It's as if Doctor Strange spellbound the entire world into forgetting the oxygen destroyer along with Spider-Man. And now it's beginning to hurt my brain. Hey, look at Godzilla fighting a radioactive water dragon to power up again. Oh, that's cool. Going back to Kong, he has a lot going for him rather than just stopping by at different pit stops to power up. He has an emotional connect with this girl who is the last of her kind, just like Kong. Later in the film, when he finally finds his people in the Hollow Earth, he wants to free them from this dick of a giant ape who goes by the name Scar King, who actually wants to get to the surface world for centuries, but instead of making his slaves go out and find a way to it, he is making them displace rocks from point A to point B. Why? Why are they mining? Are they looking for some kind of magic weapon that will help Scar King to rule the surface world? Well, no, the movie never establishes that. Moreover, he already possesses a magic weapon and an army big enough to challenge the surface world. Then why the fuck are you still down here? What the fuck are you making your slaves dig for? The portal to the surface world is just a few miles away from you. You have been living down here for centuries and still you couldn't figure that out? Are you even serious about your goals? Look, you're missing the point, okay? You see, logic doesn't apply if the antagonist is super evil. Oh yes, I guess that's enough. But you see, this guy was not evil in GVK. He was dumb for sure, but not evil. So what was the logic behind him being portrayed as an antagonist in that film? And now, my brain is starting to hurt again. Hey, look at that cool weapon Scar King uses to control that cool kaiju. Oh yeah, cool. But wait, how does that happen? What's the science behind? Hey, look at him riding that kaiju like a horse. Yeah, cool. Coming back to Kong being relatable, he is facing all sorts of problems that humans face, like a decaying tooth that fucks up our normal day at work. He also has a special dentist, a vet assigned only to him, I suppose, because of course other radioactive kaijus regenerate themselves with nuclear radiation magic. And of course, no way this vet has the balls to replace the tooth of a radioactive lizard. One involuntary sneeze and he'll get vaporized. And whenever you feel useless or purposeless, just remember that this guy is a vet who is specialized to take care of just one living being on this planet, who is a 350 feet tall, untamable beast, and the vet has no way to be sure that this only client of his will ever turn up with his problems to him. Somehow he got his specialization degree in treating Kong. Also, he built specialized machines to treat different parts of his in hopes that one day he'll get to use them. And miraculously, he does get to use that bumblebee gauntlet, the one he built specifically for Kong's right hand. And guess what? In the film, it is Kong's right hand that gets ice fucked. I mean, what were the odds? On top of it, this dumb fuck is so in love with living beings, including life-threatening insects, that he lets a Hollow Earth mosquito feast on his blood. He cares for this possibly radioactive mosquito more than his own life. Oh, please don't come to India or you'll die of dengue or malaria within a week's time. And you know what? This guy is not even the most useless and dumb character in this film. Remember Bernie Hayes from Godzilla vs. Kong? Remember how useless he was in that film? The only thing he does in that entire movie which slightly affects the plot is pour whiskey on Mechagodzilla's system motherboard, which stops it for like a couple of seconds. And remember how he didn't give a flying fuck when GVK's not so evil antagonist dies in front of his eyes? This is how he reacted.
It's unfair. I really want to hear the rest of that speech.
I wanted to hear his full speech because it's funny, right? The film needs to break the tension with a joke. It's so funny he didn't give a shit as he watched a man devoured by a mechanical nightmare.
You just watched a man get devoured by a topiary nightmare and you want to quote Tennyson.
You just watched the man devoured by a tropical nightmare and you wanna quote Tennessee? Wait, what? Yeah, right. In Godzilla X Kong, when their pilot/gunman is eaten alive by a tree, this guy suddenly starts caring about human lives. Because, it's funny. The film needs to break the tension with a joke, and who gives a fuck about keeping characters consistent? But still, this guy is at least better than these two dumb fucks. And I was more than happy to miss Bobby Brown's character in this film. So yes, Bernie Hayes is as useless as he was in Godzilla vs. Kong. And what about when he finds the relation between those 3 peak sound wave patterns drawn by the girl and oh fuck off. Hey, he finds about the distress call. Yeah, I know that. The call from the subterranean earth, which was apparently recorded before every big event that takes place in the MonsterVerse. Something which could have been easily decoded by the team of scientists at Monarch. Something which should have been picked up by this girl at the time of Muto and Ghidorah as well. But for some unexplained reason, she senses this call for the very first time in this film. Oh come on, she was a kid back then. So you are suggesting that she developed a special heightened sense after going through puberty? What next? She turns into a giant red panda and swings along Kong? Oh, I get it. It's a Turning Red reference, huh? Stop laughing and get this straight. Bernie was in the film just for comic relief, and this girl, her name is Gia. Yes, Gia, nobody cares about, was in the film just to humanize Kong. Okay, so you'll completely ignore that Gia was responsible for Mothra's rebirth. Oh yeah, I was going to get to that, but now that we are already there, please explain to me how that happened. What kind of turning red science led to that? How from the thin air did she produce a full-grown titan just with a wave of hand? The titan, which was clearly established in the second Godzilla, has a life cycle of a butterfly. The titan that takes birth from an egg as a caterpillar-like creature undergoes complete metamorphosis in a pupa and emerges as a full-grown butterfly-like titan Mothra. So please explain how the fuck did this happen in this film? Oh, I guess they took the piece of paper with the rules of the MonsterVerse, wiped their asses off it, and threw it in our faces. But hey, look at Mothra stopping the fight between Godzilla and Kong. How cool is giving this film the moment as illogical as Batman v Superman's Martha moment?
Mothra, Mothra.
But no, this moment was not that stupid. We were dealing with humans in BVS who could have communicated and avoided the brawl. But here, we are dealing with animalistic monsters. Yeah, you are right. The moment from BVS was more stupid, which did hurt my brain a lot more than, hey, look at Godzilla suplexing the shit out of Kong. Yeah, that's cool. You know what's even cooler? The number of Earths within the Earth. There's surface Earth, then hollow Earth. Below hollow Earth, there's subterranean Earth. And then there's also something called Axis Mundi, which is Earth between hollow Earth and surface Earth. And now you can call this Earth a monster-sized onion. Hey look, actually the Earth is not an onion, okay? Let me explain. Hollow Earth is basically a pocket dimension inside our dimension that can be reached through black holes like tunnels that work like portals. So you are telling me that Godzilla with his atomic breath can burn a hole between different dimensions? You are being a hateful person who is forcefully being harsh to such an amazing... This won't take long from here. What are you mad about? I said I enjoyed the film. My point is, I love how convenient this Hollow Earth setup is. Honestly, it's brilliant. So you want to introduce a century-old, stronger and meaner monster? That's easy. All this time he has been living at the -4 level of Earth's basement. Want to introduce ancient unknown civilization? They have been living at -5 level, really close to the core of the Earth. Close to the core of the Earth, where the radiation levels are really high. high radiation levels. The reason why kaijus flourish in deep ocean and hollow earth. As they get closer to the core, radiation level rises and radiation is their food. I'm not making this up, it was established in the first Godzilla. But humans are small. They cannot survive such high levels of radiation. Then how the fuck they have an entire civilization flourishing for hundreds of years at -5? And it's beginning to hurt. Hey, look at the cool fight sequence between the monsters as the gravity goes crazy in Hollow Earth. Shut the fuck up. I don't want to watch monsters fighting in anti-gravity Hollow Earth. I want to watch them fight in real cities. For God's sake, give me a sense of their size. And after the rant this long, if you think the story of this film even matters, then you have not been paying attention. It is simple. Monster punch monster, monster kick monster, monster hit monster using monster as a club, monster ride monster, monster suplex monster, monster has sexual tension with a monster flying up. I know monster fight monster, but also monster need monster, and we love monster. It's the best fan club. Okay, so maybe I have had enough of these monsters, so go back to your fan club and shut the fuck up. Just kidding, I enjoyed the film.